Yo, what's up you guys? This week we're talking film photography and off-camera flash. Now these are topics that I've talked about on the channel separately, but today we're going to blend the two. The reason is because this is something for beginner photographers that especially get into film don't do because they're super afraid of messing up and spending a lot of money in film because they can't get it right. So today I'm going to show you a little piece of gear that a lot of people don't invest in that maybe you didn't know about that is going to help you be able to do this. So if that interests you, stick around and we'll talk about it. So for my first example, I want to give you the Canon A1. Now this is the gold standard for flash photography, off-camera flash, meeting film photography. The reason is because this camera actually has a dedicated hot shoe. So this camera essentially allows you to take your flash trigger, put it on top of your camera, set your scene, and then you can begin shooting. Now like I said, this is the gold standard, this is what you want to see. However, a lot of cameras don't have dedicated hot shoes. So how would you go about shooting for film cameras that don't have something like this? And that's where this port right here comes into play. Now this is a PC sync port, which actually allows me to take a PC sync cable and I can attach it to the front of this Canon A1 here, and from there I can take the other end and either attach it to my flash trigger or to my flash itself, whatever I wanted to do. Which brings us to the point of this video, where if you have a camera like this guy right here, this is a Mamiya RB67, it does not have a dedicated hot shoe because it is completely mechanical. You can still use off-camera flash with it because it has a PC sync port here on the lens. So you would take the same cable, attach it to the lens, and then you can attach the other end directly to either your flash or your flash trigger, set your scene, and get to flash photos just the same way. So there's your first problem solved with connection issues if you don't have a dedicated hot shoe on your camera. Now this of course is going to vary depending on the type of camera or the type of lens. I know my Mamiya has a specific thing for different lenses, and that's just the case of all cameras. These are going to vary a little bit, but generally speaking, if it has a PC sync cable somewhere on the camera or on the lens, you can use this cable to connect it to your trigger or your flash. Just do a little bit of Googling to figure out what you need to do for your specific setup. But now let's move on to the next piece, and we're actually going to set up our lights and our scene and use our Mamiya here in order to actually use off-camera flash with our film. Now a little disclaimer, please don't judge me too hard on this self-portrait because in this case I'm playing both the photographer and the model, so in this case I'm not able to see both what's going on behind the scenes as far as the camera goes and what I'm doing personally as the model. But generally speaking, what you can judge on is exposure and proper lighting techniques, so keep that in mind. Now beyond all the pieces of gear that I showed you, there's only one other thing that I needed specifically for this photo because I can't take the photo and be across the room at the same time, so I need a self-timer. This is basically just my Mamiya self-timer. All it does is you set your time here, it ticks down, and then by the end of the time it actually pops out the pin to eject and actually hits the shutter. You don't need this, you could actually use just a shutter release cable, but for me I'm taking self photos across the room, so this is just the way that I did it. Now moving into the shoot specifically, there are two things that I do with my digital camera and my Sekonic light meter in order to get a proper reading just for general knowledge. This means basically that I take my light meter and pop the flash just kind of in the general area and where I'm going to be, and I might do the thing where I showed you in the last video where I'll hold it up to myself if I'm the subject, just kind of see where I'm at, making sure that I'm kind of within the ballpark of the abilities of my camera as far as aperture and shutter speed. That way I kind of have an idea. Then the next part is kind of contentious, but I usually take my digital camera, fire off a few test photos, see how it's going to look, because that's going to give me a general gist on how my film photo is going to come out. Now a lot of people will say that by implementing a digital camera, blending the two, it's not kind of like real, it's not kind of the old school style, and I get it, it's really not. It is a blend of digital and film. However, unless I'm just going to burn frames with trial and error, the only other way to do this is with some old like Polaroid film. It's basically made by Fuji, and it's pull apart film, and it's expensive, and it's discontinued, and it's super hard to find. So this is really an easy way to do that trial and error process to get a lot of the upfront work done for you. Now for your photo, you can choose to use one option or the other or both when it comes to the Sekonic meter or a light meter and your digital camera, or you can blend both like I do, but personally I like implementing both because it's just a little more accurate, I feel, and I typically like eliminate a lot of the blank frames when it comes to the trial and error stuff, and especially with film being as expensive as it is, I think it's useful. Now once you have all of your things set up and you've adjusted your light according to how you want it to look for your portrait, if that's what you're doing in this case like I was, now is the time to actually take the photo. Now this is the part where most people have problems because there are so many different pieces and you have to be able to troubleshoot in order to find something that isn't working when your flash doesn't fire or when your frame doesn't come out. Now there are two big ones as far as issues that I run into the most when I have a flash not fire, and that is one, I have my PC sync cable not completely in the port, so making a good connection is one, and the second one is really frustrating because you'll do everything right and then the flash won't fire, and it's purely because this guy right here, your trigger, has gone to sleep. Especially with off-camera flash, this is an issue. Now this is a problem in the digital world that we don't typically see, because once you've made that connection between your trigger and your camera, what happens is every time you press that shutter button, or even half pressing it, it basically engages your sync again between your trigger and your camera. So you have to go and make sure before you take that frame that you go and like test it one quick time, make sure that it's on, and then set, in this case like I did, my timer, hit the timer, and then take the photo. And now's the time, after you've completed everything, you've finished your roll, now's the time to check all of your shots to see how it came out. So for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna give you my top 3, and we're gonna order them 3, 2, 1, because the first one is pretty decent, but number 1 is actually really good in my opinion. Now remember, we're judging these on exposure and properly metering versus focus, because again, it's hard to be the photographer and the model at the same time. But as for number 3, I really like this photo as far as the metering and as far as the exposure on it, because it is actually a really decent photo, and if I would have nailed focus a little bit better, it could have been a lot sharper. It's just generally a good photo as far as the exposure goes, but number 2 is definitely better. The second photo is actually even better with exposure, because I'm actually getting a lot more contrast between the darks and the lights, and these are all things that you can obviously play with as far as your developing process and your scanning process and editing and all that other stuff, but just out of camera it looks really good, even just initially. But that brings us to the winner of this actual photo set, and that is this one. Now the reason why I picked this one is partially because of focus, and I think I just did a good job with that, but also I think initially it's just perfectly exposed. It looks really good, especially on that back backdrop. I really like this photo. It really makes me happy. I think it's a great photo overall, and it's kind of like where it is initially is good, but after a good edit, now you see it's even better. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the process and all of the information inside the video. Hopefully this helps you out with your photos when you're trying to get into film and off-camera flash. I really hope this helps you out, and I hope you'll let me know all of that in the comments below. And also while you're down there, hopefully you'll check out all my links for my socials, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. And also I've put in Amazon links for all the pieces that I mentioned here. These are not affiliate links. I get no kickback. This is purely for informational purpose. I just like those videos where you actually have all of the links to the things that the person is talking about. That way you don't have to go and source them yourself. So keep that in mind with those links as well. And beyond all of that, I will peace out. I will catch you in the next one. I'm going to hit you with my typical, and I will see you in the next one. Go out and try this. Make sure you at me on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram or wherever your photos are posted. Let me know. I would love to see all of these things as far as your work. Thank you for checking out mine, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.